In the quiet corridors of Whitehall and the echoing chambers of military think tanks, a new doctrine is forming. One that could redefine Britain's role on the global stage. The United Kingdom, long seen as a traditional power reliant on legacy defense systems, is now surging forward in a race that is defining 21st century combat: drone warfare. At the heart of this technological revolution is a bold ambition, not just to participate, but to dominate. And in the East, Vladimir Putin is watching with concern. Drone warfare is no longer a fringe capability reserved for elite U.S. operations or covert intelligence agencies. It has become a central pillar of modern combat, intelligence gathering, and strategic deterrence. From the deserts of Syria to the front lines of Ukraine, unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, have proven their worth in ways that no military strategist can ignore. The UK, aware of this shift, has begun pouring resources into what defense officials describe as the future of asymmetric warfare. Under the Ministry of Defense's MOD, Future Combat Air System, FKS, and the swarming drone initiative known as Project Hydra, Britain is building a force that not only matches its allies, but also surpasses potential adversaries, including Russia. The UK's drone ambitions are not merely technical. They are deeply strategic. After decades of following the US-led and defense innovations, Britain is carving out an independent identity in military tech. The Tempest program, a sixth-generation fighter jet concept embedded with AI and drone integration capabilities, is at the center of this. But even more intriguing is the UK's focus on autonomous drones that can operate in swarms, overwhelm enemy defenses, and adapt mid-mission through AI-driven decision-making. According to RAF Air Chief Marshal Sir Rich Knighton, the battlefield of the future will be dominated not by numbers, but by intelligence, artificial intelligence. This signals a decisive shift. The UK is no longer betting on traditional air power alone. It's betting on data, autonomy, and speed. Russia, under Vladimir Putin, has heavily invested in drone capabilities, but its systems are largely seen as reactive and limited in scope. The war in Ukraine exposed several weaknesses in the Russian military's technological edge. While Russia has deployed Iranian-made Shahed drones and developed its own Orlan 10 reconnaissance systems, they've been met with mixed success. Ukrainian forces, aided by Western tech and tactics, have managed to intercept or destroy many of them. What's more alarming for the Kremlin is the West's rapidly evolving drone doctrine, with the UK at the forefront. British drone development is not just about creating effective killing machines. It's about integrating those machines into a broader, smarter, and more adaptable warfighting ecosystem. Putin's fear is not hypothetical. If Britain succeeds in establishing a lead in drone warfare, it could undermine Russia's strategic deterrence and expose its outdated defense infrastructure. The UK's progress threatens to leapfrog Russian capabilities, especially in terms of electronic warfare, autonomous targeting, and deep battlefield penetration. One of the most groundbreaking initiatives is the UK's development of drone swarms, a tactic inspired as much by nature as by Silicon Valley. These swarms, consisting of dozens or even hundreds of small drones, can confuse radar systems, share intelligence in real time, and overwhelm anti-air defenses with sheer numbers and coordinated attacks. Project Hydra is testing exactly this kind of capability. The idea is simple but potent. Instead of relying on one or two expensive drones, why not launch 50 cheap, networked ones? The result is a force that can adapt, survive, and succeed in contested environments where traditional aircraft would fail. For Russia, this represents a nightmare scenario. Its layered air defenses, designed to intercept larger aircraft or missiles, are ill-equipped to handle such nimble and numerous threats. Even its advanced S-400 systems have struggled in simulations and field tests against swarming tactics. The UK's approach to drone warfare isn't just about hardware. It's also about software, specifically artificial intelligence. Britain is investing in AI-driven targeting systems, real-time mission adaptability, and decision-making algorithms that reduce human latency. While this raises ethical questions about accountability, collateral damage, and the potential for accidental escalation, British defense officials insist these technologies are designed to uphold international law and minimize civilian harm. By integrating human oversight at critical junctures, the UK hopes to maintain a moral edge in the digital battlefield. But AI's military application is still a red line for Russia. Putin himself has warned of the dangers of autonomous weapons, not out of humanitarian concern, but because he knows he's lagging behind. Russia has AI research, yes, but it lacks the transparency, infrastructure, and private sector partnerships that the UK enjoys through companies like BAE Systems, KinetiQ, and Palantir UK. The ongoing war in Ukraine has become a laboratory for drone warfare, and Britain is watching closely. UK-supplied drones have made significant contributions to Ukrainian reconnaissance and counter-offensive strategies. In response, Russia has tried to bolster its electronic warfare units and deploy more autonomous systems, but the results have been uneven at best. British military advisors are now using lessons from Ukraine to refine their doctrines. Every Russian misstep is a page in our playbook, a senior UK defense analyst remarked anonymously. These observations are being fed directly into training simulations and drone R&D programs. Putin understands this dynamic. Every day that Ukrainian troops succeed with Western-backed drone systems is a day that underscores Russian vulnerability and Britain's rising influence. Domination of drone warfare doesn't just promise battlefield superiority. It also carries enormous geopolitical leverage. Countries around the world are seeking alliances and procurement deals with technologically advanced powers. By becoming a drone superpower, the UK is positioning itself as a defense exporter of choice. Saudi Arabia, India, and Australia have all expressed interest in British drone tech. Post-Brexit, this creates a new vector for economic growth and diplomatic influence. It's a shift from conventional arms sales to high-tech partnerships, where Britain holds patents, expertise, and strategic know-how that others want. Russia, facing sanctions and a stagnating economy, cannot compete on this front. Even China, for all its drone exports, lacks the trust and alliances that Britain still enjoys across NATO and the Commonwealth. As tensions rise across Europe, the UK is increasingly seen as NATO's backbone for drone warfare. While the US remains the largest military power, its attention is divided globally, especially with the South China Sea and Pacific Theater demanding more focus. This leaves Europe needing a technological leader, and the UK is stepping into that role. Joint exercises with Estonia, Norway, and Poland now include drone swarms and AI-controlled defense units. These aren't just displays, they are rehearsals for real conflict scenarios. To Putin, this represents a consolidation of power and preparedness that challenges his expansionist vision. A UK-led NATO drone network could neutralize many of Russia's conventional advantages, such as armor or artillery superiority. The UK's strategy is not without challenges. Budget constraints, political fluctuations, and public skepticism about AI warfare could slow progress. There's also the risk of escalation, that an over-reliance on drones could provoke miscalculations or remove the human element too far from lethal decisions. But one thing is clear, the UK is committed to dominating this new frontier. From drone swarms to AI commanders, from defense diplomacy to battlefield AI ethics, Britain is shaping a future that Vladimir Putin never wanted to face. One where a nimble democratic power outmaneuvers his once-feared military machine. The 21st century will not be dominated by tanks or warships, but by lines of code, sensor arrays, and silent machines that fly unseen. The UK has recognized this and is acting fast. As London lights up its drone skies with ambition and innovation, Moscow watches from the shadows, increasingly aware that its adversary is no longer just America. Britain is rising, the drones are coming, and Putin is shaken.